Hi folks, Jennifer Nelson here with Pocket Hours. Pocket Hours is the only podcast made by realtors for realtors. Come listen as I interview high-producing brokers to hear their best practices. And don't forget that while you are listening, you are also earning clock hour credit. Tune in every other week to hear from someone new, and please remember to tell your broker friends about Pocket Hours so more folks can elevate their business. Be the agent you would hire. Looking forward to having you listen in. Hello, Pocket Hour listeners. This is Jennifer Nelson, and I have the privilege this morning of interviewing the one and only Albert Clark with Real Residential. Albert has been a friend and a colleague for years now, has been doing this for 19 years, and I love his demeanor and his attitude. He is a very calm presence and someone who believes the best and goes after it. And one of the lines that you'll hear throughout this interview is just keep going. It's all going to work out. And some real great gems as you listen to this interview. I'm excited for you to hear from Albert. Here we go. Hey folks, Jennifer Nelson here with Pocket Hours, and I'm thrilled this morning to be talking with my friend Albert. Albert, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You are one busy man, so I know that this is a time that hopefully will be well spent for you, and I know that the listeners are going to really benefit from hearing some of the things you have to share, so appreciate you being here. So tell us a little bit, Albert, about who you are, family, pets, what's going on in your life there?
I am a family guy. I'm married, been married 16 and a half years.
Congrats. That's amazing.
Yeah, it goes by very fast. And I have two daughters, as you can see behind me. A little portrait of them from when they were younger. They are now just turned 10 and almost 12.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I have a bulldog as well. We're a bulldog family because my wife and I both went to Garfield. So.
Nice. What's the name of your bulldog?
His name is Leroy. And,
Leroy.
Yeah,
excellent.
He's a beast. He tries to be the alpha male in the house sometimes. So.
I'm sure. And I bet your wife is the one who actually is the alpha there going on for Leroy.
She keeps it going. She keeps it all moving smoothly around here. So
I love it. That's so great. So Albert, how long have you been doing real estate?
I've been selling real estate about 19 years. Prior to that, I was a mortgage broker for a few years in the early 2000s, and then transitioned over to selling real estate. Best thing I could have done.
Right on. I did not know that you had a mortgage broker background. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. 19 years. Good job. So we've made it through, both you and I'm 20 years in, have made it through some ups and downs in this industry, quite a few of them. So we're still going. I like it.
Absolutely. That's all we can do. Just keep going. Right. Why stop?
That's right. So before, like 19 years ago, what were you doing as a career, as a job before real estate?
Well, I was a mortgage broker for about 3.5 years before getting into selling real estate. Prior to that, I was working in human resources and actuarial sciences. So my background, my degree is in mathematics. And so after college, I went to work for a company that did HR benefits for Fortune 500 companies and was kind of like an analyst. And it was boring work, but I like numbers. And I just found that I had to do something different. And that's what took me to the mortgages, because of the numbers, and whatnot. So, but that was my corporate job for a few years out of college.
Mathematics, it's rare for me to interview and or know someone who came kind of via the mathematics background, because we always joke to say most realtors don't know math at all, but they know 3% of any number.
Right. It's an important number to know, but
lots of other important numbers.
The most important number, right? There's more. Exactly. There's other important numbers.
For sure. Well, that's an interesting path to real estate. What do you think drew you to this work? Can you think of anything that made you say, I'm going to give that a whirl for a while?
It was a personal experience when I was a mortgage broker that drew me to real estate to get my license and sell real estate. It was kind of like those aha moments like, okay, I can do better than what I'm seeing. And I had an experience working with another agent, and I was the lender, and it was just a very bad experience for my client. And I said, if this is what supposedly a good agent is, then I can certainly do better than that. And that's what kind of just spurred me to make the decision to, get my license activated and go full steam ahead selling real estate.
Okay. And let's go back to those kind of early days, right? You got your license, you're going to just jump in and go for it. Were you scared? I mean, did you think, I wonder if this is going to happen?
No, I wasn't scared. I was determined because I knew
Okay.
what I wanted was to provide a level of service that my client didn't receive. And I knew that I can do better. I can provide something to the public that I saw that they weren't getting. And so I knew that I was focused, I was determined, and I had a system to start out with that I believed that could generate business if I just followed that system.
And give us an example of something about that system.
Well, it was prospecting. It was it was the Mike Ferry system.
Okay.
And it was before Tom Ferry came around, and Tom was working for Mike at that time. But it was prospecting and calling every day, 5 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day, generating business, generating leads and opportunities. And that kind of determination is what, jump started my business. It took a little while to get started and get it flowing. But once it did, it just kind of snowballed from there.
That's great. Yeah. The referrals started coming in, I'm sure.
Yes.
And you were a single man when you started real estate, but then met your wife a couple years in.
Actually, no, we were dating.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, we've been together 20 years, but we were dating. So she started out with me, leaving the corporate job, embarking on this new career, and she was, massively supportive of it. And we just took off from there.
That's cool. So been together the whole time. That's pretty awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Thinking about the work that we do, and this is sort of a vulnerable question in some ways, but what's hard about it for you? What are anything that you say, I don't like that, or that's difficult for me? Has anything come up?
I think the hardest thing is in these past almost 20 years, not getting too down about what's going on, and also not getting too, up about what's going on. You just kind of got to be even keeled about what the market is, because regardless of the market, whether it's quote unquote good, very good, or quote unquote bad, we have to stay in the market. We got to stay in the game. And so I think that's the hardest part, is keeping the mindset of not letting the lows get you down about what's going on around you, or what the economy's doing, or what, the news is telling you. And then also not getting too high on it, like, hey, I can, make all this money, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to last forever, and deals are flowing, because, eventually faucet stops a little bit. So you just kind of have to be even keel. And I think that belief mindset is really the challenge of keeping yourself focused and making sure that you don't get too discouraged about what's going on around you, and don't get too full of yourself either.
That's so true. Oh, my word, that's so true. I remember early on in my career that I was for sure that person, that agent, that, boy, what's going to happen now when things were slowing down. And then when it was rolling, I was kind of walking with the swagger and feeling a little bit like, look at me go, right? And kind of learned early on that is not a good life. I mean, that's a hard life to be on that roller coaster of the ups and downs, and wanted to say, what can I do to make my business be a more consistent business, both emotionally for me, right? But also just for income and being able to be practiced at it. When do you think you sort of transitioned into a more consistent level of deals happening?
Probably about my second year of really knowing, okay, what I'm doing is working, and keep doing what I'm doing because it is working, and just do the things that work, for you, because everybody's different. A lot of times we look at what other people are doing, and is it going to work for me? Well, it might not, but not trying to do everything that everyone else is doing. So kind of staying in my lane in terms of what I enjoy, and doing the things that I'm good at, and maybe pick a little bit here, pick a little bit there, but just consistency for me is the biggest thing, is just being consistent with every single day I go to work. Because in real estate, it's very easy to not go to work.
It is. It's
when
true.
things aren't happening. But it's really just stay in my lane, focus on the things that I do right and well, and keep going.
You know this, Albert, but I do a lot of training for real estate agents, and a lot of times I ask them just to log their hours for a week.
Hmm.
I want to know actually how many hours you consider yourself working. And so when they come back to me and complain and say, hey, I don't have any business, and then they log their hours and they
Right,
say, oh, it turns out I worked about 15 hours this last week. I said, oh, well, then you have the pay for a 15-hour week, right?
right.
Those go together.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been doing this a long time. So what is something sort of strange or interesting or weird or funny that you've encountered in your 19 years of doing real estate?
There's always something. I don't know if there's one particular thing
Okay.
that would be funny. I've had great stories of chasing a lead for years on end and it finally coming to fruition.
Wow. Yeah.
Those are the good stories, the
Uh-huh.
feel good
Hmm.
stories, or having someone, selling someone's property and then they inviting me to have dinner with them after I sold
Yes.
their property. I'm like, oh, well, okay. It's just, we have all these different stories, but I don't know if there's any strange stories. I've had some negative stories. I certainly could talk about negative stories, but I don't know if we want to go there because, we get a lot of, we get a lot of flack from our general public in being real estate agents
It's true.
to some degree, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of positives and negatives throughout. And,
Yeah.
nothing that
Okay.
I could say
Just
strange.
to kind of circle back to what you were saying there is a stereotype, right? A reputation, I think, that we have that is somewhat, we've earned it, right? As an industry, that people are a little bit
Yeah.
hesitant, a little bit wary to find out what our motivation is. And so I've been at many an open
Yeah.
house where people walk in and they sort of bristle, they sort of stay away from me because they think I'm going to try to have them buy this house, right? Like, I don't know what the perception is, but it's a negative one. So it's been fun over the years to try to help change that perception, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I'm
Right.
sure it might have been what you were alluding to in terms of the negative sort of perceptions we have.
If you think about various reasons why people get into real estate, people think about the money or the quote unquote flash, or what do we see on TV with all these different real estate TV shows? It's all flashy. Well, the general public thinks that. And like you said, you're in an open house or I'm in an open house. And it's like, no, I'm not here to just have you write a contract and just get out the door and go. Come on and enjoy the home. Matter of fact, I may not even like sell you on the house. Like, look at this, look at that. It's really like, walk through, tell me how you feel about it. What are some points that kind of stand out for you? Because I'm not trying to be rah, rah, rah cheerleader type to get you to buy a property. We're not trying to just sell you anything. We really want to sell you a home that's going to work for your situation. And I think trying to overcome that is probably the hardest because, we do get people who look at us sideways like,
Yeah.
what are
Yeah.
your motives? Like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to get from me? And I'm
Hmm.
not trying to get anything
Yeah.
from you. Do you love the house? If you do, let's see if we can work together and put a deal together. But if not, we understand.
I've had a lot of agents in the past say to me, I don't want to do real estate, or I'm worried about doing real estate because I don't want to be salesy. And I was like, oh, the more I think about real estate, it's not a sales job, it's a service job. And kind of
That's
changing
right.
that mentality to say, yeah, the house happens to be the product, right?
Right.
I'm not trying to sell this product by volume over and over and over again because I don't want to be a hamster on a wheel. I want instead to get some people that really like me and feel like I'm advocating for them. And I do that by serving them, right? That's a service industry.
Exactly. Yeah, you're giving yourself to them in terms of your expertise, right? They're looking at us for our market knowledge. They're looking at us for our experience in dealing with a single family home, a condo, a townhome, whatever the case may be. What is our experience that we can relay to them so that they can make the best buying decision and not trying to
Right.
sell them on anything? Because I don't look at myself as a salesperson. Realistically, it's all that experience of my knowledge that helps them make the best decision for them.
Love it. That's great. So you run a practice. You said at the beginning of this interview that you do real estate every day. And that's sort of, it sounds like a little bit of a motto, but that you try to do real estate every day. Tell us a little bit about what a day in the life of Albert Clark looks like.
For the most part, Monday through Friday, maybe not every day, Monday through Friday, but I'm up at 4:15. I work out 3 or 4 days a week. You know, get my kids up and we go to school, hit the office, or working from home a lot more than we have in the past. But it's really working on transactions that I have, but also looking for opportunities for my clients. And a lot of my deals now are development properties for my clients and even for myself. So looking at what type of developments, are on the market, what are off the market that I can put together. And then, of course, managing my own personal deals that I have going on for myself as well. But every day it's something. It's rare that I'm just sitting down, at home or anywhere, not working on something in regards to real estate, whether it's for myself or for my clients. And that's where it's a constant everyday process for me. But it starts early and it ends late. Even at the end of the day at 5, I come home and run the kids to practice for all the different sports they're in. But once that's done, it's back on computer. Hey, what's going on? What can we finish up for the day? So the days are long, but at the same time, it's been able to afford me to do the things I enjoy.
Pocket Hours is brought to you by Scout Real Estate. Hi, I'm Jennifer Nelson, owner at Scout Real Estate. I started this firm with the vision of doing things differently, with our focus on legendary service for our clients and creating a community of producing agents to spur each other to do higher quality work. If you are interested in learning more about how a small group of like-minded brokers have come together to have some fun while doing a lot of business, reach out to me, 206-227-7966, or email jennifer@scoutrealestate.com. I promise you this, fun is a high priority for me, but so is winning. So if you appreciate those two things, you might be interested in Scout. Looking forward to hearing from you. Say again for the listeners who just blacked out when he said he gets up at 4:15. I want you to invite you back to the call here for a minute to the show. But it's interesting, listeners who have listened to other podcast interviews from Pocket Hours, this is a repeatable pattern. So many of the high producers that I've interviewed on this show have all said that they are early risers. And I think a lot of that is because they can get ahead of the game by getting up early. So you must be hitting the sack fairly early in the evening to be able to get up at 4:15.
10:30 might be
okay.
Kind of 10:30. But I mean, your body gets used to it. I've been doing this for pretty much the whole time, getting up early, and it started prior to selling real estate in terms of getting up early. But it allows me to get that workout in to start the day, having that energy. Now, of course, your energy will wane, a power nap is good, 10 minutes.
Power naps are amazing.
But you got to get it in. If you get that in early in the day, you don't have to worry about the rest of the day. And then it allows you to start your day off on a good footing. And then the work is easy after that.
A lot of realtors say that, it's hard for them to fit in their workout because they wait to do it till the afternoon. And we all know that afternoons are when everything seems to happen.
Everything happens
the morning is
when
to get that in. So tell us a little bit about, you have to be somewhat of a patient man in doing the work that you do outside of residential resales. You're doing a lot of development work, and that's sometimes a very long process of patience and continuing up with that. What do you think contributes to your success for that?
It took time to build the business, right? Whether you are building it just as a real estate agent, just doing resale or whatever the case may be, or if you're getting into development, it takes time to build the business. And I liken it to, making a snowman when you were a kid. Like you start with a little snowball and you roll it around and roll it around. Then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Then all of a sudden, boom, now I've got a base, right? And then you roll another one and boom, now you got the body. And then you roll another one, you got the head. Now you got a snowman. And once you're pushing that, or you're pushing that snowball up the hill, you get to the top, and then it's just smooth sailing down the hill. And that's kind of how I liken it to what I've done, is really building the business, whether it's a development deal. Well, that takes 18, 24 months for it to come to fruition, to be listing the properties. If I keep planting those seeds, right? I'm not worried about the next development deal coming along. because I planted so many seeds. And one of the themes I always talk about is being Johnny Appleseed as a kid, just planting seeds,
Yeah.
right? And then eventually it's going to grow, but you don't sit there and stare at it and wait for the grass to grow. You just allow it to come. And when it comes, then you pick the fruit. So staying patient, but also having enough things going on that when the next development deal comes, I'm ready for it. And I'm not waiting for it, or my pipeline is not bare that I'm like waiting for these deals to happen. Because there's other things that I can do besides just waiting for a development deal. I can go list a property. I can go work with my buyers that want to buy their homes. So I'm filling that with all these different things to make sure that I always have something going on.
It seems like mindset plays a huge part in you keeping sane, but also
Yes.
having that. Is there anything you could add to sort of what practices you do around mindset?
When I first started at John L. Scott, my good friend and mentor at the time was Thatch Yuen. A lot of people know Thatch. And he was big on, what do you tell yourself, right? What is the self-talk that you are encouraging yourself, or are you beating yourself up? And it's always kind of telling myself, I can do this. I can do better. Right? What can I do better? Always pushing myself and not being satisfied with, I'm here, right? It's kind of a double-edged sword, because you're not satisfied with just being here. You want more. At the same time, you got to still enjoy what you have here. So it's a delicate balance. But I've always told myself, just keep going and not stop the process. Just keep going, keep pushing yourself, keep doing deals, keep, putting people together, marrying deals together, and not getting too up or down about it, as I said earlier, and just keeping the focus on who can I help, or what can I do better to grow my business. And I think that's really that mindset of not getting too discouraged about what's going on, because it is easy to get discouraged, especially in our market just in the last 3 years, 5 years, where you're writing offers and you're 0 for 10, right?
Yep.
And then your client's looking at you like, you're thinking, hey, maybe they don't want to work with me anymore because we haven't gotten the deal done. Right. But if you get back up, get back on the horse, keep going, you're going to get that deal, and you'll put it in escrow, if you will. But it's hard, because back in those days, you're losing so many deals, you start questioning your own ability.
It's true.
But if you keep believing in what you do and the service that you provide is always about the client, then you shouldn't get down on yourself, because you're doing the best for your client.
Mm-hmm. That's
if
great.
You don't get a deal, it may not have anything to do with you, but you can get back out there and try to do it again. And ultimately, you'll find it and you'll get the deal done for the client.
I'm reminded of that Winston Churchill quote that says, when you're going through hell, keep going, right? Keep going. Don't stop. Don't linger.
You'll get out of it.
You got to keep walking. That's right. Okay.
Right.
So Albert, there's a lot of listeners on these calls. Some of them are brand new in the industry. Some of them have been doing this a little while. And some of them, like you and I, are seasoned agents. I want to just ask you to think about if there's 2 or 3 best practices that you have. I mean, we've already sort of touched on a lot of things that you do, but if there's anything that you've left out that you would say, hey, agent, maybe give this a try to help you turn the corner to be more productive, what would you say?
Don't be afraid to try different things. I started prospecting. I don't know how many people do that anymore in terms of phone call. Now we get everything automated. On your phone, it's scam likely. So don't be afraid to get on the phone and call people. Don't be afraid to talk to the people you know. Because a lot of times, I know for me, I had a hard time talking to the people that I knew. I had no problems talking to people that I didn't know because I wasn't afraid of what they thought about me, because they didn't know me. But then, if you're starting out, are they gonna trust me? Are they gonna believe in me? For the people you know, don't be afraid to hit that pipeline first, because those are the people that will love on you, whether you get a deal or you don't get a deal. Do open houses, figure out a way to meet more people. As I like to say, shake hands and kiss babies, right?
Yeah.
Since we've been in the business, new things have come about, whether it was buying Zillow leads or whatever the case may be. There are a lot of people that are highly successful doing that. That wasn't how I got to where I'm at, but that's not to say that somebody else can't. So I think you got to try a lot of different things to find out what is your niche. Don't be afraid to get into coaching, to have a real estate coach, even though it costs money and you might not have money, but you got a credit card, do it. It's just like going to college. You got to pay for it. So do things that you can think of that can enrich you to be a better real estate broker, and you'll figure out what lane you end up in and then just run with it.
Yep. So yeah, be open-minded, right? About
yes,
kind of kiss a lot of frogs before you find that prince. It's that thing, right? Like keep
That's
going,
right.
keep going. That's great.
That's right.
Great
keep
advice.
going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, so I want to transition into new venture for you. This is really exciting news. Let's see, you were at Compass, and now you are the owner and founder of a brand new brokerage called Real Residential. First of all, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's really exciting.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that path.
I have 6 other partners at Real Residential, and they are all excellent brokers themselves, highly successful brokers. And we were all together before Compass. We were at NWG Real Estate 5 years ago. So when I left John L. Scott, I went to NWG, and we had a great group there. And then, of course, Compass came in and bought NWG. So we spent our time at Compass. Compass was great. Great things to say in terms of working there. But it came about within our group. What if we go back to our own brokerage, our own small brokerage focused on the service that we provide for our clients? And it was talked about. It was brought to different brokers. It was brought to me, and it was like, you know what, I'm game, because I did miss the team and the intimate aspect that we had as a small boutique brokerage. And all of us, the 7 founders, including myself, and the other 14 brokers that we have and other client managers, we all have this desire to take full care of our clients, right? And we talk about our duty of care, right, for our clients. And that's what it came about. How can we provide this outstanding service for our client in a most intimate way and take care of all of their needs as a brokerage? And that's what our focus is on. And really, and as the terminology, keep it real, right?
Yeah.
Just really taking care of that individual client. Because I know when I first started, my client didn't have that. And that's what drew me to real estate. So it's kind of full circle. It just resonates with me as our group as to why we are who we are, is because our main focus is the client first and not the flash or the commissions or everything else that can come along with real estate that is bandied about to the public. It's more about, no, our focus is our client and giving them the best service that we can and the intimate service that they need and deserve. And that's why we did it. And it's exciting. I'm not the day-to-day person that runs it. We have Nick Glant, who is, that's his enjoyment as creating this group, this unit. And he's done an outstanding job putting us all together. And we all have our different strengths. And that's why we're going to do great.
That's so cool. I'm really, really excited for you. It's interesting. As you know, I started Scout this last year in 2022,
yes.
Boutique brokerage too. And one of the things you just said that I resonated a lot with was this idea of a shared vision and really wanting to grow my company, and I'm sure your company as well, with just the people that say, we agree with the focus of client first, that we are not transactionally motivated. We are about high levels of service, and then we know the transactions will come, right?
Absolutely.
And it's been fun to just watch who's attracted to that and when, and be patient as that grows to the right people at the right time, creating that culture of a shared vision. And how powerful. I mean, Margaret Mead said it best when she said, you can't underestimate what a small group of like-minded people can do, the power that they can have. And it'll be fun to watch both of our brokerages grow and take care of our clients. And I'm just excited for you. So congratulations.
And you as well. Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's something, because of this social media world we're in, it can be so glamour, about look at me, and I actually, being in front of the camera is not my strong suit. I don't necessarily like being in front of the camera. I know I post up on IG and whatnot, but I'm like, there's a lot of this. Look at me. And, you know, selfie type stuff. And so that's where it does resonate with us that it's not about us. It is about the client and what we can give to them to make this buying decision or this selling decision to move them on for the different reasons that they need to move on. And if we stick to that, and even with younger brokers, if you focus on that, as you said, the transactions will come.
Speaking of that, we did sort of something a little counterculture recently on IG for Scout. There's a bunch of brokers who were, and no offense to them in any way, posting these posts of many, many houses that they sold in 2022.
I saw that.
It was just picture after picture. And at Scout, we decided to go a different route, and we asked our clients to send us pictures of them.
Yes.
And instead of posting a picture of a house, we wanted to really say, hey, what's this about? What's this really about? And this is about these people that we got to serve this last year. And it's been fun to see the reactions. A lot of brokers kind of doing the claps or high fives to us saying, yeah, thanks for reminding us, right, why we do this. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I was like, that is a really different way of looking at it, right? And it was great to see that because it really showed what you guys are about. And that was great that you guys did that.
Thank you. Well, is there anything we're not thinking about? I'd love to have any last comments or anything if you can think of what brokers might want to hear before we sign off. I appreciate so much your time again, and it's been fun chatting with you. Always is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say, the market is in an interesting place right now, but keep having conversations with people that are going to encourage you. Have conversations with your lenders who are encouraged. If your lender is talking negative every time you talk to them, maybe you need to stop talking to them.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are still people that need to buy in our area, and there are still many people that need to sell in our area. And our job is to facilitate the two. And as long as you can stay in the middle of that, you'll do fine. But as my mom used to say, this too shall pass, right? I feel like we're going to be coming back from this last 6 months of dredge of negativity that we've been bombarded with. I think that we're going to see some real positive things come about. And if we don't, so be it. We keep it moving, and continue to ride the wave. But I think what I would tell the listeners, new brokers, keep going and just keep focused on how you can be a better person and a better broker, and it will happen in its time.
That's awesome.
That would be my thought.
Thank you. So good. I'm going to re-listen to this afterwards because I always take notes, but I wanted to be really present with our conversation. But lots of really good things in here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. You tracked me down.
I did. I know. Hey, talk about that's right. Talk about keep going. Yeah, I had to stay on Albert for a while here to get him on the show, but I appreciate you being here.
Thinking of me.
Can't wait to see your brokerage grow, and also hope let's do a deal together this year. That'd be fun.
Hey, we'll definitely can.
Thank you so much for listening in to Pocket Hours. I hope this has been interesting, fun, made you laugh, made you think, spurred you on to do and implement some new things in your business. I appreciate your time and hope this has been a good use of it, period. Now, go be the agent you would hire.